Welcome to this episode of AI Explained. I'm your host, Kate Walsh, and this week on Wednesday, the state of Rhode Island released its report coming from the AI task force that was really spearheaded by former Congressman Jim Langevin and also the folks at Rhode Island College, where there is a new Institute for Cybersecurity and Emerging Technologies. We've had them on our show in the past talking about their task on this task force and making sure that they have some regulations for the use of AI and also just embracing it and how it will impact what they said is every part of the workforce in Rhode Island, with the goal of making sure that we have the top paying and best jobs here for people living in Rhode Island. So they said the mission is to understand how to position Rhode Islanders to really embrace ethical implementation of AI. And here's what was decided in the final report.
The report represents months of collaborative work exploring how artificial intelligence can strengthen Rhode Island's economy, improve government services, and expand opportunity, while also identifying where guardrails, workforce supports, and policy guidance are needed. Our vision looks to the governor's 2030 plan and beyond, with a focus on improving academic outcomes and raising household incomes through strategic, responsible AI initiatives. Again, raising academic outcomes and raising household incomes has been a mantra and a primary focus for the governor. That was our guiding North Star, if you will, as we went through our work in developing this report. Now, we see significant opportunities through programs like Real Jobs Rhode Island, expanding AI learning within the governor's 365 learning centers, and embedding AI education throughout K through 12 and post-secondary education. Our goal is clear. Every student in every grade, in every major, should have access to AI learning opportunities. So Rhode Island develops a complete, resilient, and AI-ready workforce. The recommendations in this report chart a path forward that positions Rhode Island as a leader in responsible AI adoption, one that embraces innovation while protecting workers, businesses, and communities, and ensures that the benefits of AI are broadly shared. So with that, I think now we're going to Chris Parisi, the Vice Chair of the task force, and I just want to again thank everyone who participated in this effort. We had great support from both the members of the task force, the academic leads, and other resources that we brought to bear. But it was an honor to lead this task force on behalf of the governor, and I again appreciate the governor's leadership and a vision for where he wants to lead Rhode Island. With that, I'll turn it over to Chris.
Thank you, Congressman Langevin. You have been an incredible leader as chair of this Rhode Island AI task force. I mean, let's all take a second here what we're talking about. AI is one of the most transformative technologies that we will all experience in our lifetime, and Rhode Island is being proactive, right? We have this task force that delivered us a roadmap of how we can ensure that we stay ahead and that we mitigate any risks to ensure that Rhode Island could be a leader in this AI-driven future. And one of the roles I had as vice chair is to ensure that we were inclusive of everyone involved here, so that it wasn't just the voices of the 20-some-odd task force members. We also had a fact-finding team that included industry leaders and business leaders that were industry-specific. But I wanted to take that further, and what we did was we also had a survey sent out to the public where we had hundreds of responses where they talked about what are the opportunities, what are the risks, what are they scared about, and that really helped us form our draft. But then we really even took it another step further and hosted a fireside chat, as we called it, which the first half of the session was myself leading it with Dr. Tim Henry and Congressman Langevin, updating the public on what exactly is this AI task force all about. But most importantly, that second half was listening to the public. And it was a Q&A session, and there were a lot of questions, and some questions were really just statements, as we can all appreciate. But that was great, because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to hear from the people. We wanted to ensure that what they were saying and concerned about and excited about was included in this task force here. And that's what we did. This is a blueprint to ensure Rhode Island's going to be a leader in this AI-driven future. I'm excited to be a part of this, from this idea that I had many years ago to the governor listening, and hats off to our governor. He could have easily punted this, but he decided that, you know what, I'm going to stay ahead of the game. We're going to be proactive. I'm going to create an executive order. I'm going to create this task force. I'm going to have someone really good lead it in Congressman Langevin. And that's where we are today. We're really excited to deliver this report and excited for all of you to review it. But the work is not done. This is just the beginning. We need all of you, all Rhode Islanders, all business leaders, every elected official to really take this serious. Again, this is the most important thing that we're doing right now. Believe me, the most transformative technology is going to affect how we work, how we live, how we learn, and we need all of us to come together to ensure that we implement the guidance found in this AI task force report. Thank you, and I'll pass it off to Dr. Tim Henry, who will run through the findings.
All right, I'm going to be up here as soon as I turn this on. There we go. Okay, now it's on. As I go through the findings, there are 3 general areas that we're going to lay out the findings. The first are ways that Rhode Island can differentiate itself from other states. That was really important to us. We wanted to look at what our strengths are, what resources we have here in the state, how can we best utilize those to set ourselves apart in the AI workspace. Second, there were cross-cutting themes. As the Congressman mentioned, there were 6 different industry sectors that we looked at, but there were some themes that ran across all 6 of those sectors, and so I'm going to address those themes in the second part of the findings. And then the last part are specific areas for each industry sector. And this is really important because a lot of the opportunities in each of the industry sectors, they can start and take advantage of right now. They don't need to wait for funding from the government. They don't need to wait for direction necessarily. They can take advantage of these right now in their own industry sectors. So I'm going to go ahead and start. As you can see up there, probably our primary differentiator is going to be our education ecosystem and workforce development. We are going to focus on developing an AI-ready workforce. We're going to look at what we have right now, our workforce currently, and upscale them to be able to be responsible, ethical users of artificial intelligence and being able to understand where artificial intelligence can best be used in the workplace so that they can take the businesses that they work for right now, the industries that they're part of right now, and advance those forward with artificial intelligence. The second piece of this is going to be creating a new AI-ready workforce. So we'll take the workforce we have, upskill them in AI, and then we'll look at our education ecosystem and start to integrate AI throughout as much as we can, not just to help the students learn how to use it as they go through, but to teach them about AI and how to develop their own AI skills going forward, so that by the time they get through high school, by the time they get through college, they will be ready to jump into the workplace with AI skills. Now, numerous studies have shown, and I didn't believe this at first when somebody told me, so I looked it up, and there are multiple studies about this, show that employers are looking for AI workers. They prefer to have somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience but is comfortable and efficient with AI versus somebody who has 10 years or so of experience but is not really efficient or proficient with AI. And so we're looking to build that workforce, that somebody who comes out, they may not have experience yet because they just graduated from college, but they know how to leverage AI in the workplace so that they will be able to help their organization move forward. The theme and part of how we're going to differentiate ourselves as we went through the workforce and got feedback from each sectors, especially in the finance sector, one of the things that was keeping them from moving forward was having workers who understood AI and was able to implement AI. And so part of what's going to set us apart is workforce development, but that's also part of that's driven by the fact that so many of our sectors need workers who are comfortable with AI. The second piece is going to be government leadership. Looking at the government itself implementing AI in ways that can show successes to help reduce some of the barriers that other industries or other organizations feel in adopting artificial intelligence. And then also, as we start to implement guidance and regulation, we want to encourage the state government to align with other states and regions so that as we move forward, it's easier for us to work together not just within the state, but outside the state in the region. We're looking to develop a framework for different organizations to implement AI. We're not looking to have the government in this area lay out strict regulations about AI. What we're looking to do is pull a cross-sector group together that is going to advise. It'll have representatives from academia, representatives from industry, representatives from government that will lay out guidance and best practices for the implementation of AI. And then the last cross-cutting theme that came out was the fact that, again, collaboration. The collaboration we have in Rhode Island is going to give us the ability to scale up what we do with artificial intelligence, with academia and industry working together to do research, to do the training for industry, and then the government working with all of it to kind of make it a little bit easier moving forward. And then for each of the different sectors, the report lays out several opportunities for each sector to incorporate AI, ways that AI can help that sector move forward quickly and increase their productivity through the use of AI.
But the key takeaways from this is that the task force report is recommending that Rhode Island produce AI-ready graduates and we have an AI-ready workforce. This should be looked at as a blueprint, a path forward. It should not be looked at as a one and done. Rather, this is a living, breathing document that will take time over years to implement, and we will grow as we go. So as we think about implementation, we need to take the long view, just as we did when the internet entered the workplace. And programs like Real Jobs Rhode Island, the 365 Learning Centers, and our K-12 and higher education curricula must continue to evolve. The governor has already established an AI Center of Excellence, and agencies, of course, are beginning to engage with our academic partners to move forward. We recently had a discussion with one of the department directors, and this is an exciting time. And again, I commend the governor for his vision and leadership, putting the task force together to make sure that Rhode Island is leading.
Rhode Island College, Mr. President, is the place that we're going to continue to activate this effort, and and I'll just summarize the work that we're doing, and I think everybody knows it, that our plan is to really raise academic outcomes for people. That's why we're going to make the Hope Scholarship a permanent piece, at least with General Assembly approval. We want to make sure our young people reach their potential. We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to increase incomes in the state of Rhode Island. This is an integral, important piece to do just that. And we want to make sure we're healthy. And finally, we want to make sure we're building things, so I can't wait to see the building for the Cybersecurity Institute. When that gets, when the ground gets broken on that, that's going to be a very proud day. But we need to make sure that we're keeping people working, building things that matter. And those things will pay off for dividends for decades to come. I'm very excited about how we're going to proceed, Congressman. And with your with your help, we'll be directed in a place that's going to be a benefit to the people in the
Think about real jobs, RI. Every component to what they do should evolve and adapt to having an AI component including with that. Just as in academia, we're recommending that in K through 12 secondary education, that curricula incorporate artificial intelligence with that. So Commissioner Gilkey, of course, and Commissioner and Helga Fonte Green were part of the task force, and they understand the mission here and what we're recommending. But in order for Rhode Island to be competitive going forward, this is not just a one and done. It will, over time, continue to evolve and adapt as we grow. The governor already, I know, has and through the Department of Administration, well, two things. They created the AI Center of Excellence, and I'd love to have Brian kind of give some details on where that stands. But also, I know that Director Wolmer has an internal working group with the Department of Administration, and you'll look at how to implement AI going forward. In each business, by the way, should be doing that same type of thing. How are we going to adopt AI, but have a internal governance structure? How it affects our employees, our workers? How do we upskill them? And so we are looking to give guidance exactly how to implement that throughout, whether it's business, whether it's government, whether it's academia.
Thank you, Congressman. Yes, I can expound a little bit on the Data Analytics and AI Center of Excellence. We're in the final phases of tentative award to bring in a vendor to support that effort. But your question about where will these leaders be pulled together, that's the AIRI hub, where we'll bring thought leadership from each of these sectors to help shape the frameworks.
Is there a timeline for that to actually begin or open?
The Data Analytics and AI Center of Excellence we're looking to award before the end of the spring to bring that vendor on board, and we're going to continue to collaborate with the Institute on establishing the AIRI effort.
Yeah, in AIRI, we want that to be a place where businesses could come small, large, small or medium, and large as time goes forward, where they can use and understand trusted AI tools and how it might impact their business. So some might be on the back office, others would be in some of their main operations, and understand how AI works. I'll give an example of what I mean. This was just on the news recently, but it's a big example of how AI can have a big impact directly on the ground. Southern Company, one of the largest utilities in the country, just used AI, both data and the AI model that they built, and prior to the storm, were able to better pre-position assets so that it limited the amount of damage that was done or the downtime when the damage that the storm caused, and get utilities back up and running. That's just a national example of how an AI model is being used. We want to make sure that Rhode Island is in the position to do just that use the data that they have and experiment with the models, the algorithms, to see how it's going to impact their business, but they'd be using trusted AI tools. And with academic leadership, we're going to help provide that trusted resource.
Security is one of the most critical factors of all of this, and so we want to make sure that the AI implementations are secure going forward, and so we'll start at different levels of the different as you go up through the stack and do the implementation. There'll probably be a core set of tools, and then each industry will be able to build on that depending on what the needs are at the time.
Thanks for watching this episode of AI Explained, and you can watch all of our previous episodes as well as the one with former Congressman Jim Langevin on 12 News Plus app anytime.